Hi everyone, this is Laura and welcome back to Book Bubbler. Today I'm going to do a quick Sunday reads, a small little book haul from this week, and a quick what I'm reading now for Nonfiction November. I'll keep saying quick, that's great. All right, let's just get straight in. I've only finished 3 books this week. I'd hoped it would be more considering that I have, I think, 15 or 16 checked out from the library. Oops. But that's okay. First on the list is Quiet Girl in a Noisy World by Debbie Tung. This is little quick comics about being an introvert and yeah, just cutesy little introverty things. Cute little style. I really related to a lot of it. I see that she got married and found somebody, but it's not about that necessarily. But yeah, it just was really cute and sweet. So if you are an introvert or know an introvert, recommend picking it up and giving it a read. It was really a nice little half-an-hour break out of life. Next was a digital book, Red Bones by Anne Cleves. This is the 3rd in the Shetland Island series. This one finds Detective Jimmy Perez on the Isle of Walsey with, what is his name? Sandy, his, I think, second in command. Sandy's grandmother is killed, and there's a archaeological dig happening around her croft, and one of the girls in the dig is the second body that gets found. There is all sorts of family connections with Sandy and old history, and a little bit about World War II gets involved, and family money and all sorts of stuff. Detective Perez's girlfriend, what is her name? Claudia? Cassie. Cassie is visiting friends with her daughter in London, so Jimmy feels a little bit bereft by himself. He's thinking about her a lot and their relationship, wondering if he should propose or not, if that's too crazy since she's divorced. Actually, he's 2, I think. Anyways, so it's interesting to see Perez back in this island and see Sandy step up a little bit more and take himself more seriously with his family and with his job and everything. Really, it was really interesting, and I thought I knew who did it, but I was really wrong. That was a nice surprise too, to be incorrect about guessing who done it in a murder. So that was the 3rd in the Shetland series, Red Bones by Anne Cleves. And the 3rd book that I finished this week, this was a Nonfiction November in my pile of possibilities. This is Harris's List for Covent Garden Ladies. This is a collection, essentially, published or gathered by Hallie Rubenhold. Yeah, Rubenhold. She just won the Bailey Giller Prize for the 5, her novel, nonfiction, I should say, not novel, her book about the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. The truth about their lives, who they really were. So I'm looking forward to getting that at some point. I like Jack the Ripper stuff and serial killer, true crime things anyways, not to mention feminist things. So I'm very interested in picking it up. Congratulations to her. She's not watching. That's okay. So anyways, this is her kind of collection of the Harris's List. This was, let's see, this is essentially a reprint of the 1793 version. Let's see, I wrote this down. Yes, this is the entirety of the 1793 Harris's List with an introduction at the beginning, which I've sort of shied away of reading introductions before I read the book, just because of so many classics that I used to read. If you get anything that's like that, they almost always spoil the entire story in your introduction, which drives me absolutely bonkers. I mean, clearly, you've probably not read the book if you're reading it, so why would you spoil entire plot lines? Save it for an afterward, you know? Anyways, so there's introduction about Harris's List that Hallie did. It was very, very interesting. This is just about the size of the actual books that were distributed every Christmas Day every year. They were a compendium done by, oh my gosh, I'm glad I took notes about this because this is terrible. Anyways, there was another man whose name I forget. I want to say his name is Derek or something. But there was a man named Jack Harrison who called himself the Pimp General of all England, which is kind of a charming, let's say, name for himself. And he had made his own, aside from being a pretty famous pimp, he had become infamous for, you know, putting out Harris's list every year. And Derek somebody else. Wait, here it is. I think I can read this. Nope, can't. Derek was his last name. That's all I can decipher for my writing. Anyways, he found this list and thought that he could improve upon the list and make it a little more wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean? Put in inside jokes and jokes about the girls, jokes that people that hung out in the area would understand about specific prostitutes. And then it became even more popular. He made a deal with Jack Harris to do this, and that's how this Harris's List got to be so famous. There are only a few complete lists out of, I think it was 50 or 60 years this was published. So this was kind of interesting, a little samey after a while. I read through the whole of 1793, which is the bulk of this book. And then at the end, there are highlighted selections from other years that still survive. So there's stuff about redheads or plump people or people who do dirtier things, which when you're talking about a book regarding prostitutes, really subjective, you know, whatever. But this was really interesting, kind of cute, worth checking out if you're into this kind of stuff, but I enjoyed it. I didn't rate anything, you know, 3 stars. I liked it. Red Bones, the mystery series, the mystery book, I gave that 4, and Quiet Girl in a Noisy World, I gave that 4 as well. Nothing outstanding, but I did like it a lot. So those are the 3 that I finished this week. I am currently working on quite a few books I've been working on for a long time. One of my goals before the end of the year is to finish up, if not all, as many of my in progress, currently read kind of books that I am. I don't think I'll make it, but whatever. So 2 that I'm working on for Nonfiction November specifically are this one, Doctor Who Official Miscellany. This stops before, Matt Smith, I believe, when he comes in. Yeah, I think so. So there is a newer version out a couple of years ago, but this is all just all the nerdy, statty kind of list things that your Doctor Who loving heart or hearts could like all the different versions of Cybermen throughout the years. Like, that's a big thing, and I'm only a third of the way through right now, but there's so much information about each individual companion, each individual doctor, broken down in multiple different ways. So it is interesting, but it's more of a, like, read it on a commercial break kind of a book than just sit down and read through. So interesting, but, you know, not for everybody, but it's a nice little jokey thing to get into. And then this book I have had on a physical copy of for just over 10 years now, I think. And I saw that it was available digitally as an ebook through my library. That's been a really helpful way for me to process my TBR piles, heaps, boxes, stacks, cases, and not feel guilty about reading something else that I shouldn't be when I should be doing something else. Anyways, this is The Age of Wonder by Richard Holmes. So this focuses on the romantic scientific era in the late 1700s. So it is a very lightly illustrated. I could have used more illustrations, quite frankly. Covering little essays. So it's Joseph Banks Herschel, who I'm reading right now. He was a lay astronomer. William Herschel. Cover stuff, Balloonists in Heaven, Dr. Frankenstein and the Soul. I don't know. It's all about the romantic scientific revolution that sort of led a whole bunch of new experiments, and we still think a lot of the same things today. All started in this kind of Age of Wonder period. It's really interesting. I do enjoy reading science books, and you know these names a little bit, but Like, I'd heard of Joseph Banks, but I didn't know anything about him really, and he traveled to Tahiti and, for better or worse, set up camp there for quite a few months. Of course, there were relations and kids and misunderstandings and little fights and wars that would break out, and just all this kinds of stuff. So it's interesting. It's not quick reading. It's fairly small text, and this is one of those physical copies where the paper is really heavy, so you end up like I'm glad I'm reading it digitally primarily, because I get tired holding it up, and I don't think it's just because I'm out of shape, but I don't know. Anyways, it's interesting. It's all kind of different stuff right now, so I'm hoping I can get this one in the next week before December hits, sticking under the line. So those are two that I'm working on right now for Nonfiction November. And then I have a small little book haul. I didn't think I had anything to do that really came in this week, but of course I did, because it's me and I can't seem to help myself. So my first book at the moment is an urban fantasy paranormal series by Carrie Arthur. The main character is a phoenix, which is new to me. I haven't really read a book with a phoenix as a character. It's a quartet of books, and I realized I just had that first one. So I have the second one coming through Paperback Swap. I don't know if you guys use Paperback Swap or not. I use it quite a bit still. So that's on its way here. And then I ordered the third and fourth book in the series. What is this? Ashes Reborn and Flame Out, 3 and 4 in the series. So I can kind of keep rolling once I finish that first book and go into the second, third, and fourth. Then another series I really enjoy a lot that's mystery. I guess it's cozy. I don't think it really is, but it's Edwardian England in the countryside. This particular book is set in the summer of 1910, and this is Death Beside the Seaside by T.E. Kinsey. This is the Lady Hardcastle Mystery Series, book number 6. There are 5 full-length books and then 1 mini ebook about Christmas time, I think between books 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. But this features Lady Hardcastle and her trusty maid, technically, but they're really more like friends, Florence, who is pint-sized and very strong. And I'm not sure what they're going to do in this one yet, but it's not in any library systems that I know of. It's just been sold on Amazon. So this is from Amazon, but really nice. I mean, they're really enjoyable. I like these two ladies a lot. This Telling Living is really cute. All their friends and family are really sweet and quirky, and I don't know, I just like it a lot. So I need to get to this one soon, because my mom has asked me to read this one next, and I know her. She wants to talk about the books that she reads as she's reading them. So if I own them, or if I have them first, I need to have read them first so she can talk to me about them and try and get information out of me, which very rarely works. So I need to get to this sometime soon too. Then I'm a big fan here on YouTube of Caitlin Doughty, and I believe this author was on one of her shows about saints a year or two ago. Anyways, this is Magnificent Corpses. And searching through Europe for St. Peter's head, St. Chiara's heart, St. Stephen's hand, and other saints' relics. So it's about holy relics and traveling, and why some are bejeweled, why some are not, where they're all kept, how many of certain things there are, I don't know, but this will be kind of interesting too. And then I got my hair done this week, and she's on the east side of Milwaukee, so I had, oh, it was such a shame, had to go down to my favorite independent bookstore, Boswell Books. I also had 2 gift cards I needed to use up. Again, needed, subjective, but I bought 2 there. I got Cop Sisters on the March by Amy Stewart. This is the, I believe, 5th in the Cop Sister series. I really enjoy these a lot. They're based on Constance Cop, a real person in the early 1900s New Jersey who became a police officer. And it's about her life as a police officer and her 2 sisters. Both of their parents are gone. So it's them all kind of working together and getting into scrapes and getting up against the man and fighting off stalkers and all sorts of stuff. So I have this one in this next in the series. Really, really good. I like them a lot. And then the final book I have for my book haul, I love this author. He's been one of my favorite authors for probably 25 years now. I was lucky enough to see him when he came into town probably 20 years ago, maybe a little less. at one of my old locations of my favorite bookstore, Harry Schwartz. But anyways, this is Bill Bryson's The Body. He's not perfect. No one ever is, but I just enjoy it a lot. I always learn something from him. I always laugh. He's one of the few authors to genuinely make me laugh out loud at least once or twice every book. So this is just his history of the human body. I'm not sure how he has it organized or not, but whatever. I finally have this after it was published over the summer. So that's it. So what are you guys up to? What have you been reading? Are you working on Nonfiction November? Have you been book shopping when you probably shouldn't have been? See all these unread books behind me double stacked. What's going on? What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? I will be at my mom's house. It'll be just the two of us. So it'll be sweatpants and food and Turner Classic Movies and maybe a nap. Very exciting. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're reading, what you're up to, and I will talk to you guys soon in the next one. Bye.